Okay, so I'm going to recap what I've been reporting on for the last 2 days as a foundation to get into what I'm about to get into. So I've been reporting that the Department of Defense just ordered 500 injectable devices that will be used to inject people with the vaccine. And I said that word injectable device conjures up images of injecting an RFID chip. Well, then Trump was on Fox Business and he said that the vaccines will be here by the end of the year and that the military will be dispensing it. And then I did a report this past week that they said the vaccine will be ready by the end of the year and that the United States will be the first country to get it. And I stated that the United States is the biggest threat globally. We have the strongest military, and they will take us down first, and then the rest of the countries will fall easily. Well, today is May 14, 2020. I'm your host, Terry Lynn. This is HardNews TV, where truth is like archaeology, and every day we're digging for it. This video I'm about to show y'all is from my first channel that got purged in February of 2018, I think it was, when they had the Great Purge, when all the channels went away. So I don't have the original links in this. This was just on my jump drive. Well, let me show y'all, okay? I'm going to talk about what was in mainstream news and the Western journalism, 72 groups of Americans that are now considered terrorists. And so this article right here is from August 1st, 2019, from Yahoo News. Exclusive FBI document warns conspiracy theories are a new domestic terrorism threat. So if we don't believe this official COVID-19 narrative fairy tale that they're giving us, then we are conspiracy theorists and we are domestic terrorists. Okay, so we know that Obama signed in the NDAA, and look at this article from May 1st, 2018. A new bipartisan bill, so this is under Trump, could give any president the power to imprison U.S. citizens in military detention forever. One of the most outrageous acts Barack Obama's presidency was his failure to veto the NDAA, the indefinite detention. Okay? And it says now any president can expand upon it and put you in military. See, we could be belligerent, enemy combatants. This is all wording. This is all wording that can get us. Okay? And this is a very good article. I want y'all to go look at it. Tim Kaine, who was going to be the running mate for Hillary Clinton's VP pick, he's one of the authors of this. Well, guess what? Trump signed it into law. This article was May 1st, 2018. Trump signed and renewed the NDAA for 2019 on August 13th, 2018. So we can be held forever in a military detention. And Rachel Maddow is going to talk about how much it concerns her. I might let it play, and then I'm going to let mine play. Here we go.
And both from President Obama. One speech that could have been billed as a ballad to the Constitution, a proclamation of American values, a repudiation of the lawless behavior of the last presidential administration, and another speech announcing a radical new claim of presidential power that is not afforded by the Constitution and that has never been attempted in American history, even by George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. Remarkably, President Obama today made both of those speeches simultaneously. Standing inside the National Archives in front of the actual original Constitution, President Obama delivered a blistering critique of the Bush administration, in which he called their actions and their legacy literally a mess.
Our government made a series of hasty decisions. Poorly planned, haphazard approach. Too often, we set those principles aside as luxuries that we could no longer afford. Our government made decisions based on fear rather than foresight. The decisions that were made over the last 8 years established an ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable.
An ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable. Ouch. Then, moments later, he announced his own ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism. President Obama today proposed something new, something called prolonged detention. Doesn't sound that bad, right? Prolonged detention. Did you ever see the movie Minority Report?
But y'all, the Constitution guarantees us a speedy trial. So prolonged detention of itself is anti-constitution, but watch what it gave him, what powers it gave him, and now Trump has expanded these powers.
It was based on a Philip K. Dick short story. Came out in 2002. It starred Tom Cruise, remember? He played a police officer in something called the Department of Pre-Crime. Pre-crime is where people are arrested and incarcerated to prevent crimes that they have not yet committed.
Mr. Marks, by mandate of the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division, I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubin that was to take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours, 4 minutes.
No, I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but you're gonna. Future murder. Creepy, right? Putting somebody in jail not for what they've done, but for what you're very sure they're going to do?
There may be a number of people who cannot be prosecuted for past crimes. In some cases because evidence may be tainted, but who nonetheless pose a threat to the security of the United States.
We're not prosecuting them for past crimes, but we need to keep them in prison because of our expectation of their future crimes.
Al-Qaeda terrorists and their affiliates are at war with the United States, and those that we capture, like other prisoners of war, must be prevented from attacking us again.
Okay, now y'all, he just said in acts of war, times of war. Trump keeps saying he's a wartime president. We are at war. So he invoked the War Powers Act, okay? So let's keep going and wait till we get in my 72 groups of people.
Prevented. We will incarcerate people preventively. Preventive incarceration. Indefinite detention without trial. That's what this is. That's what President Obama proposed today, if you strip away the euphemisms. One civil liberties advocate told the New York Times today, quote, "We've known this was on the horizon for many years, but we were able to hold it off with George Bush. The idea that we might find ourselves fighting with the Obama administration over these powers is really stunning." And it is stunning, particularly to hear President Obama claim the power to keep people in prison indefinitely with no charges against them, no conviction, no sentence, just imprisonment. It's particularly stunning to hear him make that claim in the middle of a speech that was all about the rule of law.
But we must do so with an abiding confidence in the rule of law. Our government was defending positions that undermine the rule of law to ensure that they are in line with the rule of law.
How can a president speak the kind of poetry that President Obama does about the rule of law and call for the power to indefinitely, preventively imprison people because they might commit crimes in the future? How can those two things coexist in the same man, even in the same speech? Well, that brings us to the self-consciously awkward, embarrassing part of this speech today. After condemning the Bush administration for what he called their ad hoc legal strategy for trying to make things seem legal that patently weren't, this is what President Obama proposed.
My administration has begun to reshape the standards that apply to ensure that they are in line with the rule of law. We must have clear, defensible, and lawful standards for those who fall into this category. We must have a thorough process of periodic review so that any prolonged detention is carefully evaluated and justified. Our goal is to construct a legitimate legal framework for the remaining Guantanamo detainees that cannot be transferred. Our goal is not to avoid a legitimate legal framework. In our constitutional system, prolonged detention should not be the decision of any one man. If and when we determine that the United States must hold individuals to keep them from carrying out an act of war, we will do so within a system that involves judicial and congressional oversight.
So they're going to rewrite what our judicial rules are, because this is unconstitutional, and he said it's important we have that legal framework. So they changed the rule of law. Now let's keep going and wait till I show y'all you might be a terrorist under these new 72 classifications.
And so going forward, my administration will work with Congress to develop an appropriate legal regime so that our efforts are consistent with our values and our Constitution.
An appropriate legal regime.
You'll construct a legal regime to make indefinite detention legal. You will, what does he say? Develop an appropriate legal regime. So you can construct a whole new system outside the courts, even outside the military commissions, so that you can indefinitely imprison people without charges. And you'll build that system from scratch. What's that somebody said about ad hoc legal strategies? Just for context here, in the United Kingdom, where there isn't even a Bill of Rights, there's been a major debate about whether people can be held in preventive detention. Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair wanted 3 months to be the outer limit for how long anyone could be held. There was a big political fight about it. Parliament ended up limiting that power to 28 days. 28 days is still the longest period of preventive detention that's allowed under law in any comparable democracy anywhere in the world. How long would President Obama's proposed preventive indefinite detention last?
Indefinitely.
Well, he's not saying yet, but here's how he defines the threat that he says makes indefinite detention necessary.
Right now, in distant training camps and in crowded cities, there are people plotting to take American lives. That will be the case a year from now, 5 years from now, and in all probability, 10 years from now.
10 years from now. So you could get arrested today and locked up without a trial, without being convicted, without being sentenced for, say, 10 years until the threat of your future criminal behavior passes. Prolonged detention, he's calling it. This was a beautiful speech from President Obama today with patriotic, moving, even poetic language about the rule of law and the Constitution, and one of the most radical proposals for defying the Constitution that we have ever heard made to the American people.
And she is a liberal, and she is outraged by this. So he's the one that first signed it. Now the new bill gave more extensive powers to presidents, and now Trump has signed it. He has declared that we are now in a war, that he is a wartime president. He's invoked the War Powers Act. If you disagree with any, and this was under Trump, August 1st, 2019, that if you are a conspiracy theorist, you are a domestic terrorist threat. Okay, so now let me show y'all the video that I put up. I know I'm at 13 minutes. This is longer than I usually go, but y'all need to see the big picture of what's going on. It's not just this little simple rainbow and butterfly world that we thought we lived in before March 16th. This was being put in place to entrap us for when this day and time came. So this was from my original channel that got pulled down. I don't have the original links anymore. I'll have to try to find it when I hear where I got the links from. But I'm going to read the article, and it's 14 minutes. So y'all got 14 more minutes in this video. But I really want y'all to pay attention. This is from Homeland Security, and it's going to give you the list of who this government says their domestic terrorists are. That's you, that's me, and we can be put in NDAA, indefinite detention, with no charges on us, held without a trial, and President Trump signed it into law. Here we go.
Into Hard News TV, I'm Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where truth is like poetry, and sometimes people just can't handle it. Today is August 18th, 2016, and I just wanted to talk to y'all about terrorism. All Americans, seem to be in agreement that terrorists need to be apprehended and prosecuted, and our nation needs to be protected against terrorists. And so Obama's administration passed the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, that gives the government the power and the authority to detain people for non-specific reasons for an indefinite amount of time without right to representation or attorney. And so we're kind of like in our minds as Americans, oh, well, that's okay. They're terrorists. They don't have rights, so they shouldn't be granted the right to an attorney or a fair trial or something like that. But it's all in the terminology. If they deem one person a terrorist and take away their civil liberties and their right to due process, then all of us who could be redefined as a terrorist would be subjected to those same protocols. So I'm reading out of Western journalism, 72 types of Americans that are considered potential terrorists in official government documents. So I went to Homeland Security website a couple of days ago and looked up, terrorism, and it was saying that domestic terrorism is more of a threat than radical Muslim terrorism. So, and we're living in a situation where our current government does not even want to label Muslims as extreme terrorists. But on the actual Homeland Security site, it says domestic terrorism is more of a concern than radical terrorism. So this article out of Western journalism says the 72 types of Americans that are considered potential terrorists in official government documents. So would you want to be labeled a terrorist if you meet any of these 72 criteria? So let's get into it. Are you a conservative, a libertarian, a Christian, or a gun owner? Are you opposed to abortion, opposed to globalism, communism, illegal immigration? Are you opposed to the United Nations or a New World Order? Do you believe in conspiracy theories? Do you believe that we are living in the end times? Or do you ever visit alternative news websites? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are a potential terrorist, according to U.S. official government documents. At one time, the term terrorist was used very narrowly. The government applied that label to people like Osama bin Laden and other Islamic jihadists. But now the Obama administration is removing all references to Islam from terror training materials, and instead the term terrorist is being applied to a large group of American citizens, fundamentally changing America. Let's keep going. And if you are a terrorist, quote unquote, that means that you will have no rights and the government can treat you like it treats the terrorists that are being held at Guantanamo Bay. So if you belong a group to any of these people that is now being referred to as potential terrorists, please don't take this as a joke. The first step to persecuting any group of people is to demonize that group. And right now, large groups of peaceful, law-abiding citizens are being ruthlessly demonized. Below is a list of 72 types of Americans that are considered to be extremists and potential terrorists in official U.S. government documents. To see the original source document for each point, just click on the link and you will see the list covers most of it, the country. Okay, so it's one more paragraph to read, and then we get into the 72 list. And I am going to read the 72 list to see if you identify with any of these, to see if you yourself are a terrorist. Are you a conservative or a libertarian? Okay, we read all that. Okay, below is the list of 72 types of terrorists. Okay, as you will see, the list covers most of the conservatives in this country. Are we ready? 1, those that talk about individual liberties. 2, those that advocate for states' rights. 3, those who want to make the world a better place. 4, the colonists who sought to free themselves from British rule. 5, those who are interested in defeating the communists. 6, those that believe that the interest of one's own nation are separate from the interest of other countries or the common interest of all nations. 7, anyone that holds to political ideology that considers the state to be unnecessary, harmful, or undesirable. Number 8, anyone that possesses an intolerance towards other religions. 9, those that take action to fight against the exploitation of the environment and or animal rights. Those who are anti-gay, number 10. Number 11, anti-immigrant. Number 12, anti-Muslim. Number 13, part of the Patriot movement. Number 14, opposition to equal rights for gays and lesbians. Members of the Family Research Council. Now, I know Tony Perkins of the Family Research Council. They are not better human beings than Tony. But this says if you're a member of the Family Research Council, you might be a terrorist. That sounds like a Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a terrorist if. Members of the Family Research Council. Number 16, members of the American Family Association. How many of us listen to American Family Radio? Number 17, those that believe that Mexico, Canada, and the United States are secretly planning to merge into a European Union-like entity that will be known as the North American Union. Number 18, members of the American Border Patrol, American Patrol. Number 19, members of the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Number 20, members of the Tennessee Freedom Coalition. Number 21, members of the Christian Action Network. Number 22, anyone that is opposed to a New World Order. Number 23, anyone that is engaged in conspiracy theorizing or thinking. Number 24, anyone that is opposed to the UN Agenda 21. Number 25, anyone that is concerned about FEMA camps. Number 26, anyone that fears impending gun control or weapons confiscations. Number 27, any militia movements. Number 28, the sovereign citizen movement. Now, the number 28 is very, very troubling. I went to the official Homeland Security document, and I spoke to a friend of mine the other day that says the sovereign citizen movement is the most troublesome to the Homeland Security. And I plan to do a whole show to that. The sovereign movement believes that we shouldn't have to pay taxes and a whole bunch of different things. Basically, the sovereign citizen movement is constitutionalists that think that we should be being governed by the Constitution. And they are deemed as the most violent and most potentially violent terrorist group out there. So if you have a moment until I can get my story up, go Google the sovereign citizen movement. That's number 28. Number 29, those that don't think they should have to pay taxes. There we go. I didn't even read ahead yet. Number 30, anyone that complains about biases. Number 31, anyone that believes in government conspiracies to the point of paranoia. Number 32, anyone that is frustrated with mainstream ideologies. Number 33, anyone that visits extremist websites or extreme blogs. Number 34, anyone that establishes website blog to display extremist views. Number 35, anyone that attends rallies for extreme causes. So let me just stop right there. Number 33, number 34 were anyone that visits extreme websites or sets up extreme websites. Is this why Obama has given over control of the internet to international control starting October 1st? Let's keep going. Number 36, anyone that exhibits extreme religious intolerance. Number 37, anyone that is personally connected with a grievance. Number 38, anyone that suddenly acquires weapons. Number 39, anyone that organizes protests inspired by extremist ideologies. Number 40, organizing or unorganized militias. Number 41, general right-wing extremism. Citizens, number 42, citizens that have bumper stickers that are patriotic or anti-UN. Number 43, those that refer to an army of God. Number 44, those that are fiercely nationalistic as opposed to universal and international orientations. Number 45, those that are anti-global. Number 46, those that are suspicious of central federal authorities. Number 47, those that are reverent or individual liberty. Those that believe in conspiracy theories. Number 49, those that have a belief that one's personal or national way of life is under attack. Number 50, those that possess a belief in the need to be prepared for an attack, either by participating in paramilitary preparations and training of survivalism. Number 51, those that would impose strict religious tenets or laws on society, fundamentalist. Number 52, those that would insert religion into the political sphere. So, like, it's political, the gay lifestyle and everything. So you would be considered an extremist if you quote the Bible on God's thoughts about certain behaviors. Number 53, anyone that would seek to politicize religion. Number 54, those that have supported political movement of anonymity. Number 55, anyone that is anti-abortion. Number 56, anyone that is anti-Catholic. Number 57, anyone that is anti-nuclear. Number 58, right-wing extremism. Number 59, returning veterans. So that's why they're wanting to take guns away from returning veterans. Those concerned about illegal immigration. Number 61, those that believe in the right to bear arms. That's the Constitution. So you're a terrorist if you believe in the Constitution. Anyone that is engaged in ammunition stockpiling. 63, anyone that exhibits fear of communist regimes. Number 64, anyone involved in anti-abortion activism. Number 65, those that are politically against illegal immigration. Number 66, those that talk about the New World Order in a derogatory manner. Number 67, those that have a negative view of the United Nations. Number 68, those that are opposed to the collection of federal income taxes. Number 69, those that supported presidential candidates Ron Paul, Chuck Baldwin, or Bob Barr. Number 7, those that displayed the Gadsden flag, the Don't Tread on Me flag. Number 71, those that believe in end-time prophecies. And number 72 of potential terrorists is evangelical Christians. One last paragraph. The groups of people in the list above are considered problems that need to be dealt with. In some of the documents referenced above, members of the military are specifically warned not to have anything to do with people of such groups. We are moving into very dangerous times in American history. You can now be considered a potential terrorist just because your religious or political beliefs. This is like a communist country when you can't have your own thoughts, when you have to adhere to the common thought process of that country. That's indoctrination. Free speech is becoming a thing of the past, and we are rapidly becoming an Orwellian society that is the exact opposite of what our founding fathers intended. Please pray for the United States of America. We definitely need it. So I just wanted to share with y'all the 72 types of Americans that are now classified as terrorists. And please go research the NDAA, indefinite detention, that will put people in places like Guantanamo Bay and take away all rights if you were deemed to be a terrorist. And you will have no right to day in court, and they can hold you till you rot. So please leave your comments below and let me know what you think about this video and what you think about my channel. God bless. I got more to come. Bye-bye.
So I just wanted to bring y'all leave me your comments below, and the fact that Trump expanded the powers, renewed it and expanded it. And if we're questioning this, we're terrorists just by questioning this. So I'm going to leave y'all the link to all of this. Y'all leave me your comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.